your fucking pride.
Monkey D. Luffy. D. Luffy. Father, this bad guy.
Why would they do that, bro?
Bro, because it's getting you ready, dog. Yeah, no! I'm a fool. What is good, people? It is your boy T-Rav. I'm back again with another movie review. Right now we have the Minions movie, The Rise of Gru. Now, I know what y'all thinking. T-Rav, what's going on? An animated movie? Yes, people, I'm in here. I'm in now, okay? Due to much pressure and consternation from my associates, K9. No, but I must say, dog, this is an excellent movie. So before we get into it, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that. So let's go ahead and go. Man, this movie is just a whole lot of madness. And I'm telling you, dog, I haven't laughed so hard in a minute. So the basic premise of this story, right, is there's already a full-on established supervillain group known as the Vicious Six, and they're the baddest villain group in the whole world. And obviously, Gru is trying to become a part of them. But the movie starts off with their leader, Wild Knuckles, infiltrating this ancient Chinese temple and stuff like that to get the Zodiac Stone, which we find out way later on in the movie. Spoilers. I don't know why you're here if you're not expecting those. We find out way later in the movie that stone, at a very particular time, I guess, when the Chinese New Year hits, it can grant powers and stuff of all the different Zodiacs, right? And so, obviously, the Vicious Six is going after that, and they're going to use its power to take down the anti-villain group and basically start dominating the world, as it should be. Now, Wild Knuckles, bro, this old man was on point, like, the whole movie, I must say, because when he was infiltrating this shit, it was hilarious, dog. It really was. But he was doing his thing. He was going Indiana Jones for him, and he got the stone. He was able to barely escape because all these little monsters started coming after him. And you think that the Vicious Six is there to help him, and obviously they're villains, so they turn on him, and then they leave him for dead in ancient China, right? And so we flash over to America, where the Vicious Six is doing whatever they do, but you're seeing Gru, dog. You're seeing the rise of the man, the myth, the legend, but obviously he's not there yet. You know, he's still a kid. He's learning. I think he said he's like 11 and a half. Oh, excuse me. 11 3/4. So stupid. But he's already got his minions with him. I didn't watch, in full disclosure, the other Despicable Me's or the old Minion movies, so I'm definitely going to go rewatch all that stuff. Reactions probably coming to the channel, but we'll see on that. But yeah, he's doing a bunch of wild stuff with the Minions, and you can see how the Minions is always there for him. They pick him up from school. They obviously roll around with him as he goes and does his villainous shit. He wants to go and watch Jaws, and so he throws a stink bomb in the movie theater because it's packed to get everybody out. And then he goes and watches that bitch in a gas mask. And then he goes to get some ice cream and stuff like that, and he starts cheese whizzing people with a cheese ray gun. So he's just doing a madness. And then my favorite part of that, I know this is just an insignificant scene, because this is all this type of stuff is happening throughout the whole movie. I mean, he's just doing the madness, right? But then he takes the ice cream and then he goes in front of a gym. And big niggas like me, dog, is in there riding a bike, working hard, trying their best. And this nigga's out there eating that shit, and he's like, work hard for these calories. It's so fucked up. But he had put in an application to join the Vicious Six. And obviously, with Wild Knuckles out the picture, they need another member of their group. They're taking applications. So stupid. But, so he gets his shot. He gets to go and interview to be a part of them. And when he gets there and all that, he's just a little kid to them. And they don't think he's capable of even being a villain. And, you know, it's weird because we're obviously rooting for this nigga to become the greatest villain of all time. But, you know, you're like, damn, really? Villains have to be adults? They can't be kids too? I mean, you know, Wild Knuckles shows you can do it at any age. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how old you are. But they dunk on him. They dump on him. And so while stuff starts happening, they get distracted. And they were talking about how, you know, the real villains, they go and they steal stuff and they do their thing no matter what. And so he goes and he steals the Zodiac stone from him. And then this wild chase scene begins. And I must say, shout out to Illumination, because all the chase scenes were just wild and so much fun. The minions, I can't stress to y'all enough how funny these dudes are. Kevin, Otto, Bob, and Stuart, they were going ham, right? Now, they pretty much make a clean getaway, but this dude, Otto, fam, oh my God. He's able to get away, and he got the stone. He said, all right, meet me back at the headquarters, and we're going to be good. He comes back with a freaking rock with googly eyes on it, dog. So what happened was, he was on his way back, and then he saw some kid having a birthday party, and then he saw that they got a pet rock for the birthday. And it's so messed up. It's so messed up. But as soon as he saw that, my man was in love. He couldn't take it. So he goes and he trades away the Zodiac Stone for this damn rock. And when he comes back and tries to give that to Groot, he's like, you must be pulling on my legs. Shout out to Steve Carell. He was doing his thing. But obviously this is horrible. This, like, all the plan went up in the smoke. Now he's on the run because the Vicious Six is going to come after him and all that. But he's done with him. He's like, you know what? Y'all just messed stuff up. I'm done with y'all, you know. I'm going to go it alone. And basically, as soon as he steps outside of the house, Wild Knuckles shows back up out of nowhere and his gang, and then they kidnap him and stuff and take him to San Francisco. Now it's up to the minions to go and find Mini Boss to set him free, dog. Because even though he said they were fired, all that, that's still their homie, dog. They have nowhere else to go. They got nothing else to do. That's their boss. So it's just a wild adventure with these minions. I mean, the plane scene is just so ridiculous because these dudes, man, I can't stress that these dudes are wild. There are some wild boys. And somebody let me know what language are they speaking, because I swear to God, these niggas are speaking Spanish and then maybe they're speaking French or something. Like, it's just too much. But on their way to go and pick up Mini Boss is being tortured by Wild Knuckles, which is, you know, he's tied up to a disco thing, and then by the time so much time runs out, this blade's gonna take him out, right? But that doesn't fall through because, you know, Wild Knuckles has an issue with paying his henchmen, and so they all desert him and stuff like that. And so he sets it free because he needs some help around the house and things like that, and he's gonna want him to do chores, all that. Meanwhile, the minions, they meet up with Michelle Yeoh. Now, this is obviously by accident because they're on the run. They're in Chinatown, and they tried to infiltrate and go and get Mini Boss out the first time, but the henchmen chased them off, and then they're in Chinatown getting their ass beat, and then Michelle Yeoh pops out of nowhere, and she is some lady just working at an acupuncture shop, and then all of a sudden we find out she's a grandmaster at Kung Fu, and she goes ham on them. And so they beg and plead with her to teach them how to do Kung Fu, and, you know, after a while she gives in. But bro, this training montages are just hilarious, and obviously they're horrendous when it comes to Kung Fu. Okay, they're beating the hell out of each other, trying to do the stuff that she's asking them to do, and she's giving her teachings and all that other stuff, and it's kind of sort of working, you can tell, but they're just garbage at it. Okay, it's plain and simple. But they're acting a fool, and it's just hilarious stuff. But at the same time, the Vicious Six is now coming after Groot hardcore. I mean, they go to his house, they pull up, and they tie up his mom and everything. I must say, shout out to this nun that was a part of the Vicious Six who uses nunchucks, and she's like, it's so dumb, but it's so good because she just floats everywhere, and she just pulls up in the most hilarious way. But yeah, and also shout out to the leader of the Vicious Six. It's I forget her name, but she is smooth as hell, and this black lady got her big ass afro, and she is on it. She is really a real deal villain like that. So they're trying to find them, and then they come to a misunderstanding and think that Gru is working with Wild Knuckles, but that's obviously not the case. And so they gotta go and take the stone back, which they eventually do get it back after Otto had to travel basically cross country on a big wheel, son. And when I tell you this man was flying, he was flying. But he actually meets up with a guy who does have the stone because the little boy had given it to their uncle who was just traveling across the country. So that's why he was following him in the first place. And man, it's just wonderful. It's a wonderful movie because there's tension, there's stakes. You know, Gru is basically on his own for the most part, but then he starts bonding with Wild Knuckles, and then he gets captured again, stuff like that. They tear out Wild Knuckles' house, all that, and then, you know, he's able to get away, but, you know, he's bonded with Wild Knuckles. He's learning from him. They even go on little heists and things like that together so he could teach him stuff, you know what I'm saying? And they obviously seem like that's perfect mentor-mentee relationship there, but he's got all that baggage just weighing on him from how the Vicious Six betrayed him and stuff like that. He taught them everything they know. He founded the group, and really all he wanted to do, it didn't seem like he's really that much in it for the money. He just wants to go around doing evil stuff with his homies. And obviously that's going to bring up trust issues after that point. And so he kicks Gru out. And he's able to actually meet back up with the minions, but not before the Vicious Six pull up and take the stone. And then they take the powers of it and everything as the anti-villain league pulls up. Where are you niggas at, dog? Alright? Y'all need to be on point, okay? Because they're just running circles around these dudes. And then they turn into the different Zodiac monsters, right? And then the minions, dog, the minions have to team up with Wild Knuckles, who comes back and he's gonna save Gru. And they ask him, with what army? This army. 3 damn stooges, son. Oh my goodness. And then they get turned into Zodiacs as well, but obviously they're little bitty people, so you got a little rooster, a little ram. Oh god, it's so dumb. And a little rabbit. It's so dumb, and I love it so much. Dog, it made me laugh. And they're getting the work put on them. You know, it seems like all hope is lost, and then they remember Michelle Yeoh's words to find your inner beast, and then they start going ham, dog. They were backed into a corner, but for mini boss, they gonna make it happen and come through and save the day. And Wild Knuckles is also trying his hardest too, but he's up against the Afro lady who's turned into a dragon at this point. He gets fucked up. And so it's then up to the minions and Gru to, you know, come through, retake the stone, and defeat all of them, which they eventually do. And it's just, it's wild. All the animation is so clean, so crispy. The action scenes were actually really dope, dog. More so with Michelle Yeoh's character, because she really doing the hand-to-hand getting down. But you see by the end, the minions hit like a Mack truck, you know, when they really get after it. And then they start doing the yelling shit, and then they do the air blast, and then they're able to take them down, knock them out, all that stuff. And so obviously Gru reunites with his niggas. They're rehired, obviously, and they never really left. So let's be honest. And that's the main takeaway in this movie, right? Gru was searching for so long, trying to get away from these minions because he doesn't really take them seriously. And you know, they're not perfect. They fuck around, they bullshit, and you know, they cause a whole bunch of hijinks and madness. But at the end of the day, he realizes that that's his people. He said, find your tribe and never let them go, because you have to understand, you can't do anything alone in this world. And that's what he learns from Wild Knuckles, who this is all what he's saying in a speech at Wild Knuckles' funeral, but then you see that Wild Knuckles is back at the back, and obviously he's faked his death, and so they make their little getaway. And I just love how he tells the anti-villain league how they're like, yeah, you stay out of trouble now, we gonna come for you. He's like, oh yes. He starts doing his stupid ass chuckle, and he's like, I'll live a good, honest life. And so he rolls out with Wild Knuckles and the minions, and everything ends up great. And then even by the end, you see Dr. Nefario, who had helped him out a little bit earlier and gave him his first little gadget on his sticky fingers. That's how he even, you know, stole the Zodiac Stone in the first place. And it was coming up clutch all types of other times. So he convinces the man to come back and work with him, and then we're off. And I don't know exactly how much time passed between the different Minion movies and Despicable Me and all that, but you can see my man is definitely on his way to becoming the best super villain in the world. And I must say, even if you're not a big fan of animated movies, right? You might not be. I am telling you, I can't stress this enough, dog. The comedy in this is A1. I was belly laughing, son. I was laughing hard, and this was real. You know, it's basically the whole time. The different minions got their little personalities. Kevin Le Mignon. So dumb. Like, he's trying to bribe Michelle Yeoh at times, and he's trying to slack off and dance to some disco music when she ain't looking, and then she comes and kicks his ass. And then you got the little, I think it's Bob. He's just a little boy, little innocent little boy, but he's a fucking tank, and he can't be stopped because you can hit him with whatever you like, and the dude don't even feel it. And Otto is just, oh God, Otto is a wild, wild boy. But I must say, I think my only nitpick with the movie is I wish Wild Knuckles would have got a little bit of a, I don't know, I feel like he should have had a little bit bigger role in the final battle. You know what I'm saying? He didn't really get his chance to put the schmack down on the Vicious Six like that. Obviously, he was outgunned because they transformed him into magical beasts and all that other stuff. But I just really like the fact that this little boy kind of saves him in a way too, and obviously makes him trust people again. I hope that they went on and were able to, you know, keep on doing villainous acts and things like that. Who knows how long. But it's really cool that they had such an important message to give by the end of how you can be searching all this time for everything that you think that you want and really not realize that it was right there all along. And that's hey, I have to applaud it. This was an excellent movie. On the T-Rav scale, I would say this is a certified, because it's really good, y'all. It's really good. Damn. I'll say it's a 9. That's a 9 out of 10, dog. So that is the T-Rav rating. Let me know what y'all thought about the movie. Did I really miss anything? Because, hey, like I said, I hadn't seen all the other Despicable Me's and the Minions and all that. So I know there was a bunch of references that I wasn't catching and things like that. And then I think there was one kid that they showed that's going to be like a nemesis of his later on. So I am definitely hooked on the Minions and Despicable Me. I will be watching that as soon as I can. Yeah, like I said, let me know if you caught anything else or if there's other parts of the movie that you really, really liked. And that's it, y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. It's been your boy T-Rav. Yeah! Let me on!